Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to some more Kawhi Leonard news. As everyone's been talking about, Kawhi Leonard is an unrestricted free agent now this summer. It's been the largest topic of discussion seemingly the whole year, even through this great championship run. Everyone is looking for Kawhi Leonard to stay with the Toronto Raptors if you're a Raptors fan, and it seems like if you're not a Raptors fan, everyone wants him to go to LA. So we're breaking down all the things that come up surrounding the Kawhi situation, and the past couple days there's been some more developments. A team that was kind of written out of the equation midway through this year, a team that no one really expected with all their drama going along, but apparently the Los Angeles Lakers are back in contention for Kawhi Leonard. His list of meetings is officially made. He's going to meet with the LA Clippers, the LA Lakers, and then the Toronto Raptors last, and we'll get into that at the end of the podcast, but the LA Lakers are again a team that's being thrown in the mix for another superstar free agent, and the Lakers, it looked pretty bad for the Lakers there for a while. Their front office was in complete turmoil. LeBron was injured for a lot of the season, but their roster has completely changed over the past 2 weeks or so. They made obviously the Anthony Davis trade, which was a huge deal for them, bringing in a top 10 guy at least in the NBA, and then they just traded away 3 of their rookie players, 3 guys at the end of their bench, so they cleared up about $32 million in cap space, so they have the opportunity to sign a max free agent player now, and now we're hearing a lot of the guys be intrigued by going to LA, whether it be Kawhi Leonard's name, Kyrie Irving's name, so apparently that's becoming an attractive destination throughout the league, and frankly, I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. This is the time of year that the reports are actually going to come to light. This could be something like we've seen all year. All the reporters, everyone, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, everyone wants to see Kawhi in LA, see the storyline of another super team develop in LA, and then maybe face off against the Golden State Warriors and dynasty versus dynasty. That's a narrative I've seen pushed for a while. And maybe reporters are just running away with loose-ended reports just to get some cool storylines, get some cool headlines. That could definitely be the case, but Kawhi Leonard, we don't really know what he's looking for out of free agency this year. Chris Haynes reported that it's very likely he's going to return with the Toronto Raptors earlier in the week, and if I were to still a betting man, I had to put money on it, I'd say that he's going to stay with the Raptors, but if Kawhi is looking to go to a team where he be talked about 24/7, and this isn't something that I think fits Kawhi's personality, but being in LA, being in that glamour market with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kyle Kuzma, that's going to be a roster that's talked about in the news every single day on the American media. They're going to be looked at. His notoriety will go up. Apparently New Balance is looking for him to go to LA as well. It's an interesting scenario. We know at the beginning of the season when he made his initial trade request, he said either the Lakers or the Clippers were the 2 teams that he'd go to. The Clippers were the name that was thrown out all around all this year because they were more stable, but it looks like the Lakers make more sense if Kawhi's looking for that LA limelight situation. But Kawhi, as we all know, his personality is a more low-key guy, and personally, I don't see him desiring being in the shadow of LeBron James. Even though, at least this season, he was better than LeBron James, he's still going to be that name of LeBron and the bright lights in LA. That's going to be the storyline everyone talks about on a daily basis. Kawhi's not going to be recognized as the top player in the league like he has been this season with the LA Lakers. He's just going to go there. It'll be a really weak move. People will call him out like they did with Durant, as, KD, I guess he lost to the Warriors and Kawhi Leonard won, so he has the freedom to go wherever he wants. He's not bound by anything, but he is still joining up with 2 of the top 10 players in the league and going into a super team when he just won a championship on his own. Obviously, the Toronto Raptors were a great roster, but he didn't have any of those glamorous superstar tier 1 guys on the roster with him. He got to hold the spotlight all on his own, and it'd just be a really weird move for him to leave a situation like this where he won and where it still looks like they could beat the LA Lakers out west. It's not like the Lakers are a team that look unbeatable now because they have Anthony Davis. The Toronto Raptors, in my opinion, would still be favorites to win the championship next year, especially where the Golden State Warriors don't have Durant and Klay Thompson's going to be injured for a large stretch. I think that it would just be a really weird move for him to go to the LA Lakers, because he's not a guy that looks for storylines. He's not a guy that's all about the drama, and even if Uncle Dennis, even if New Balance is pushing him to go to a bigger market, that's a ridiculous market for him to go to. That's a complete circus down there in LA, and I really just don't see Kawhi's personality meshing there. But let me know if you think I'm wrong or you disagree with that statement, but I think that's a weird fit, even though they'd be a very talented roster, and their big three might be one of the greatest big threes of all time, but it's a really weird move optics-wise for me. And this is the story that everyone's running with the past couple days. I don't see it happening, but let me know if you guys disagree or, there's anything I'm missing in terms of Kawhi's personality or something that maybe is a key for him wanting to go back to LA. But I still think the team that we should be most worried about is the LA Clippers, because he'll be down there and he'll be competing with that super team if he leaves, and they still have a solid roster around him where he's the number one guy and he doesn't have to deal with the drama of the LA Lakers. And for people that have been listening to the podcast for the past few weeks, for the past season, at least since we won the championship, it would take a lot, some crazy reports to come out for people to change my mind in the fact that he's going to leave. I really don't see him. No finals MVP has left their team after winning the championship and the finals MVP. The only person that did was Michael Jordan, but he retired, ended up going to the Wizards, and I don't see Kawhi breaking that trend this season. The Toronto Raptors situation is so good, and we do have more encouraging signs that a lot of people aren't talking about, especially in the American news media, but Kawhi Leonard down in Barbados right now, he's living his best life. He took a snapshot of him in a Blue Jays jersey, repping the city of Toronto down away. That'd be a weird move for him to do if he was just going to turn around and leave Toronto and continue to rep the Blue Jays after they won the championship. So I think that's we can't bet all our money in because we saw him in a Blue Jays jersey, but that's something that's very encouraging. And apparently this trip to Barbados, someone offered Kawhi Leonard a free trip to Barbados if he remained with the Toronto Raptors. And maybe Kawhi has his decision made up. He cashed in on that offer. Maybe he's living it up in Barbados for free because he knows he's going to stay. It could be some 4D chess with him and Masai Ujiri saying that, hey, maybe we can knock off the Lakers' first few days in free agency so they can't pick up a guy like Kyrie Irving or any of these other top-tier free agents, and then the Raptors have an easier path in the finals because I know the Lakers are currently favorites to come out of the West, them along with, I guess, the Warriors and all these teams. Maybe holding back the biggest domino in the NBA free agency is a strategic move from the Toronto Raptors because I really don't see him going to LA. It would baffle me to see him going to LA. The only redeeming fact of that would be to see Skip Bayless, who hates Kawhi Leonard and hates LeBron James, for those two guys to be on the same team, but it would still hurt me a lot to see him leave for the Lakers. If he wants to leave for the Clippers, I guess he just wants to be home, wants to be low-key and just play basketball and all that sort of stuff. But the Lakers, forming a super team with LeBron James, AD, and Kyle Kuzma, that would just suck. They'd be a fun team to watch, but we just seen the Warriors have a stranglehold on the league for the past few years. I wouldn't want to see that for the next couple with the Lakers. I love what the league is going for right now, where they're still super teams, they're still really talented rosters, but it's not a superstar going to an already stacked team, right? I don't mind superstars teaming up and pairing together, but when you just completely overload a team, it just sucks. It sucks to see. Maybe that's just me though. And Kawhi's a guy that doesn't need to do that, as he's proven. He's built his career as a dynasty killer. He's a player that breaks up super teams. He broke up the Miami Heat, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and he broke up, well, at least it looks like the Golden State Warriors dynasty is over for now. He ended that dynasty after they just won 3 out of their last 4 championships. So Kawhi's a dynasty killer. It wouldn't make sense for him to just go to another super team when he doesn't need to. And with the Toronto Raptors, Marcus All said he just returned. Danny Green said he'd look to return if Kawhi Leonard stayed. Run it back with this roster. OG Anunoby's going to hopefully have a healthy season. Pascal Siakam's only going to improve. The Toronto Raptors are looking like a really strong roster for years to come, and I'd just be surprised if he left. I'd be surprised if he left that. And despite all the random reports that's come out, everything that's come from the Toronto Raptors camp, especially the past 2 weeks since we won the championship, they're very encouraged. They're very confident in the fact that they can retain Kawhi Leonard. Chris Haynes, when the initial report came out, when Kawhi Leonard would be forced to speak because he declined his player option, that's when you have to speak to someone. You have to decline the option physically, and then you'll probably tell people where your head's at going into free agency. And I think that's one of the reports that we can really trust came from Kawhi's camp. Maybe that's some homer speculation, but I think that's a reasonable way to look at it. And Masai Ujiri in that press conference sounded very confident in his ability to retain Kawhi. The diction he used was very, very direct about what his plans were this summer. He said he had a fallback option if Kawhi did leave, but the confidence is there in the Raptors in keeping him. And frankly, I could see just the media running away with randomly sourced points just to get some credibility, get some clicks. That's what media people do. And Kawhi's super unpredictable. We don't really know what he's going to do until that point. Apparently, these meetings are happening the Sunday night and Monday, so it's going to happen very quickly. It's not going to be something long and drawn out like we've seen from LeBron in the past or these guys. So hopefully it all works out for the Toronto Raptors. I'd love to see him stay. I want Kawhi to sign like a 5-year contract, even if I'd be happy with a 1-and-1 or a 2-year deal, but if he signed a 5-year max that just guaranteed him being a Toronto Mavs for the next 5 seasons, I would be overwhelmed with joy. But if he does leave, the Toronto Raptors will be fine. We have OG Anunoby who's coming up the ranks. He had a very promising rookie season, but he was obviously injured and dealt with everything he dealt with last year. I'm still very encouraged by what he can do in the future. Pascal Siakam, be interesting to see what he could do as a lead man on a team. We still have Kyle Lowry, we still have Marc Gasol for next season. Norman Powell showed that he can do some stuff in the playoffs. Fred VanVleet, he got a vote for Finals MVP. Imagine saying that 2 years ago when he was picked up undrafted. Fred VanVleet got a vote for Finals MVP. He's a true baller out here. The Toronto Raptors will be fine either way, but I'm still confident Kawhi Leonard will stay, and hopefully all the Raptors fans are too, and Masai Ujiri is. So let us know what you guys think. You're the best for making this far. Check out the Twitter, the Instagram, all that cool stuff. Leave it down in the comments. Do you think he stay? Do you think he go to LA? I love hearing your thoughts. It's going to be a wild next few days, so stay tuned to the Raptors Digest. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.